Welcome, everyone. I am Bill Kinahan, and I'm here to present to you tips and tricks for enhanced customer engagement. So we will take the next 30, 40 minutes, and we'll talk about different areas of the application where you may not know are there, or little tips on how to use the tool set within Dynamics. We know there's a lot of stuff there that hopefully help you out on a day-to-day basis. So as I mentioned, my name's Bill Kinahan. I'm a senior solution engineer with Velosio, and I have a pretty extensive background in CRM. I've been involved in CRM for about 25 years. Originally started as a client, and then got into the consulting world after I was done a couple deployments. Worked with various applications, but have really concentrated in Dynamics CRM, Dynamics sales, marketing, customer service, over the last 20 years, really since the inception of the application. So I'm in pre-sales now, but have been involved in all areas of the application. So as far as deployment, project management, technical consultant, business analyst, all of the different areas, I've kind of landed on pre-sales now. And I'm actually based in Ontario, Canada. So let's get into what we're going to cover today. And these are different areas within the application that you may or may not have used in the past. So some of them are quite simple, okay, and some of them are a little more advanced. So we're going to go a few things through, like how to open a new tab very simply and quickly by using your control key on your keyboard. All the toolbar options, so things like looking at opportunities in different ways, showing a chart within a view, looking at a focused view. Also looking at Power BI within a view. So the ability to use Power BI is in the dashboard side, but you also have the ability to visualize that data that you see on any screen in the system within Power BI by visualizing it. The Teams integration, okay, Teams chat, Teams dialer, the ability to use sequences. So sequences being the ability to create activities and have a different flow for an opportunity or lead in the system. Utilizing dashboards from within a view as well. So instead of jumping over to the dashboards area, actually being able to hit the little three dots at the end of the record or end of the toolbar, and then go directly into the dashboards area. Also, we'll talk a little bit about how to use columns and filters. Okay, lead assignment within the application as well. That's something fairly new that we before would have to handle within workflow. Now we can actually handle it right within the GUI itself. Also, we talked before about Teams chat and Teams dialing. The ability to actually have Dynamics over within Teams, so I can utilize the Teams platform and have Dynamics sit in there. Something quite simple is an email signature as well, right? The ability to attach my name, my profile to an email as it goes outbound, whether that be automated or actually me creating an email within the system. Marketing content creation is really geared towards some of the AI stuff, right? So Microsoft is coming out with a ton of different AI components in the applications. This is one piece of that as well. Natural language input when we're building a segment within marketing, how we can actually just type in what we're looking for as opposed to building out that entire query. Interactive experience is a different type of form within the application. So you can enable these forms throughout the tool set. We're going to look at it from within a case perspective, but it gives you that feel of how you can actually engage with the application or with the interface a little bit differently than maybe what you're used to. Also within the case side, we'll talk a little bit about swarming and what a swarm is and how you can create that. And then something that has been around for a number of years, but a lot of people don't know about it, is the ability to dictate into your phone and have that converted over to text for you. So we'll take a look or try to get through all of these components and we'll go from there. So the first one we want to talk about, again, is quite a simple concept. And if you want the truth, I didn't know about this till maybe a couple months ago that you could do this. As we know, when we launch a record within Dynamics, it actually launches that record within the current form that I'm in. So if I click on Trade Show, for example, here, you can see that it launches and it moves me away from that view area. If we go back, if I hold down the Control key on my keyboard, you notice how it launches it into a new tab for me. So then I'm not losing that original view that I was in. It actually launches in a new tab, so I can continue to work within here, maybe close that tab when I'm done and I'm back to my main screen. Quite a simple tool set. And when I did some research on this, there's a number of keyboard shortcuts. So if you are a person who uses your keyboard to get around within the application or really any application, keep in mind that there is a number of keyboard shortcuts in the application to do that, like the control that opens a new tab for us. Now, if we look at the top here, we've got different toolbar icons available to us, and we're going to try to walk through some of them right now. Now, as Microsoft enhances the application and adds more features and new things, you see things pop up on the top here. And one of those things is this show as. Now, the show as allows me to view the data that I see on the screen, which is this, in this case, open opportunities, a bunch of different ways. So I can look at it from a Kanban view. That's been around for a while, right? Where I want to maybe look at my opportunities by sales stage or by status, as opposed to looking at them like a list that we see here. This most recent change is the pipeline view. And the pipeline view gives you more of a visual feel to my pipeline. So in this case, you can see I've got various bubbles on this, and you see as I mouse over each one of them, I get some detail on each opportunity. Now, the bigger the bubble, the bigger the opportunity. You can also see here, I've got the actual today's date, and I can see where these opportunities are closing or when they're predicted to close. So you can see I've got one behind here, okay, one that we've missed. It also ranks the color, okay, grade A, grade B, grade C, grade D. And I can go in and actually look at the data behind this. So in this case, we've got a trade show. The potential customer is Panasonic, but maybe I want more detail on this. You can see on the right-hand side, I've got my opportunity form available to me. So maybe I want to, you know what, add some detail to this opportunity, go in and add other details to it. In this case, we're past due on our close date. So either the deal has closed, I have an updated CRM, or I need to push that close date out. So as a sales manager, I can go in and view this and get a really quick view of what's going on. Now, this is representative of the view I'm on. So if I was looking at open opportunities, it's going to show all my opportunities here that are open. If I was looking at all opportunities, it's going to show me every single opportunity we've ever had. Now, let me go in and change this, and I'll just extend this out a bit and say, well, we'll bump this out a month and say we expect it to close on that date. Now, it's going to dynamically update the same as you would if you updated your view or updated your opportunity at any other time. Now, you'll notice at the top here, I also have some calculations being done. So what my pipeline value is. None of the deals are in the pipeline. You can tell one is not there and lost is not there. That's because we're looking at open opportunities, right? They haven't closed yet. If I want to go look at all opportunities, we're then going to see a plethora of different opportunities in here, and you can see how my deals have closed and deals won. Now, this is a demo environment, so you can see that there's multiple deals in here that may not make sense from an everyday perspective, but gives you a feel for how this tool or how this new functionality works. Now, I also have the ability to come down here and edit on the fly. So this is essentially my all opportunities list at the bottom. Okay, so I can go in and change any of those records as well, as I would based on back on my read-only view or my editable grid view from here too. Okay, so that is the new view of looking at opportunities, or an additional view for looking at opportunities within the system. Now, if we keep going across, this one has been around for a while as well, but I find some of our customers don't know that it's there. This is actually the ability to show a chart while I'm on a view. So I'm looking at all opportunities right now. Okay, so it's giving me my top customers. These are just those charts that we see on our dashboard. Okay, I also can go down and choose multiple different charts within here. Okay, these are all available within the application. If I choose to create new charts, they're also available to me here as well. So I can, again, go in and drill into this, look at different information based on in this case, where the pipeline is. Okay. The third area I want to touch on is the focused view. Now, the focused view gives you a little bit of different view of the opportunity. Now, this is going to give you more information on the screen at one time. So you can see that I've got down on the left-hand side, I've got things that I need to do in regards to all opportunities. And on the right-hand side, this is the actual form, right? We're all used to when we drill into an opportunity, it gives me the ability to go in and do all of that data mining or enter data in and things like that, create a quote, add products to this opportunity. All this information is available to me just from now clicking on these different areas on the left-hand side. So think of it as I hate to say a to-do list, but that's kind of what it is, right? I'm going through my opportunities and cycling through each one of them, and that data is showing up on the right-hand side. If this is something you don't want to use, you can actually just go back up here, and that takes you back to the all opportunities area as well. Now, I talked a little bit before about the visualization of using Power BI to visualize a view. I'm going to change this back to my open opportunities here. And we've got visualize this view at top. So I'm up on the top. I'm going to click on that. And you're going to see a screen launch here. And this is actually the system building some Power BI reports for me. So pretty powerful stuff, right? That gives you the ability to have a view on your screen and let Power BI take over and build that out around analytics and trending and all that type of information and present that back to you. So it takes a couple seconds for it to run that original time. I view the report, and you can see what I've got on my screen. I've got sum of probability by estimated close date, count of estimated close date, topic, potential customer fit. I've got some trending information down here as well. So it's taking whatever is on the screen and then comprising that into a Power BI report to show me immediately, okay? Now, you'll also see the tables that it's referencing on the right-hand side. So if I want to include estimated revenue in this, you can see it's now going to recalculate, okay, and bring me back some stuff in regards to estimated revenue. So very powerful. You can play with this. There's no overhead in regards to what you have to do in the background and everything. Just play around with it, and you can get some instant Power BI reports. Now, I'm showing this off of opportunity. It's available all throughout the system. You'll always see that toolbar icon up at the top. Now, a lot of the talk lately has been around AI. Now, before AI came along, there was a lot of talk about Teams. So if I look at Teams, this is Teams integrated in the application now too as well. So this is really just a configuration within the tool set. You go in and turn Teams chat on, and you have the ability, this icon will show up on the right-hand side, and now I can chat back and forth with different colleagues in regards to Teams. So in this case, if I open up any of these Teams chats, this is the exact same chat that I will see sitting out in my normal Teams chat, those types of things. So anything I see within here, within my Teams chat, the application here, I would see within Dynamics as well. So it just gives you the ability to go back and look at that information from within these Teams area. Now, this kind of piggybacks a little bit on when we talk about swarming in the customer service side. So a swarm equates me using Teams and me using resources within the system to consolidate a bunch of people or coordinate a bunch of people together in order to work or solve a case. So that might be originating for somebody who's an expert in the customer service case that has come in, someone who is a team of experts, somebody maybe needs to be escalated, or a product expert, things like that. That's the idea around swarming, but that's how Teams works over there as well. So we'll see that in a few minutes. The other thing that you'll notice within Teams integration is the ability to actually dial in and out. So in this case, I can dial out by just clicking that little icon on the record right beside the phone number, the little phone call icon. I click on that and it would dial out for me. Inbound is going to be the same type of thing. When I get an inbound call, they call that phone number, it's going to screen pop for me and show me who is calling inbound. Now, with this, you do need the voice license, okay, from Microsoft in order to have that inbound, outbound, that type of experience from a calling perspective. But just know it's there, that you have all that calling experience. Now, going hand in hand with that is if you do use the calling functionality within the tool set, you also can get some of that call intelligence, right? So someone calls inbound or you call outbound, you have that conversation. Customer or call intelligence allows you to go in and now look at that call more definitively. So it will record the call for you. It will make a transcript of the call for you. It'll pull out keywords from that call. It'll pull out mentions. It'll pull out action items. So it really looks at that phone call and pulls out all that information for you to make some better decisions. It even gets down to the point where it'll pull out the sentiment within the call. So is it a good call with a customer? Was it a bad call? And maybe that spurs on some other type of action in regards to if they're happy right now, let's give them a call and see if we can talk to them about a new product line or something along those lines. Now, the other piece of this, let's go in and look at one of our opportunities here. I'm just going to minimize our call. Is the idea of sequences. Now, this is part of the Sales Insights tool set, but the sequence is the ability to go in and create things within the system for maybe, in this case, a sales rep to follow. So this is available both on leads as well as on opportunities. So you can see I have the option here to connect sequence. I also have the option here to connect a sequence. So this is an open opportunity for us. I can go in and click on connect sequence, and it's going to list as many different sequences as I've built in the system. And when you think of a sequence, it is the steps we're going to go through within the sales process, right? So we've got our sales stages, okay, we follow. These are more geared towards activity creation and what should happen after when, and bridge out different equations as we go through. Okay, if they say yes to this, we go down this road. If they say no, we go down this road. That's what a sequence is. So I can select request for product demo, connect that sequence, and now that will get captured on this activity. So I'll see things that'll start to happen within the application. So an email sent out. I can create a new activity, appointment, email, phone call, task from here. All of these sequences will generate within the system and create activities for me to follow as I go through. The other thing to note with sequences is there could be a wait time involved with them, right? So very similar to what we see within when we have a marketing journey where we're waiting a certain amount of time before we do the next action and things like that. Same type of thing with sequences. I can have that wait for 2 days before I do a follow-up call. Then I'm going to wait another day before I send an email to them. Then I'm going to wait 3 more days before marketing sends them out something. That's the idea behind sequences. And you can have as many different sequences in the system as you like. The last piece I'll touch on from this kind of the toolbar perspective. Oh, actually, I've got 2 more things to touch on with the toolbar perspective. Is the ability I talked in the intro about how we can initiate a dashboard from here as opposed to jumping over to our dashboards on the main area. So you can see I've got open dashboards here. I hit the little ellipse at the end, open dashboards. And this is actually looking at the data that I'm on and showing me a dashboard. In this case, I've got my open opportunity. It's got open, closed, and all opportunities on this dashboard. You'll notice I've got some different icons at the top now. I can also look at a show visual filter. So this is breaking it down by pipeline phase, by rating, by account, by status. If I want to refresh this screen, I can go in and maybe we only want to look at hot opportunities. Then it refreshes everything for me. So that's what the whole visual filter is. If I clear that out, it refreshes back to the first or original area we came into. If I go show global filter, I can do it from here as well. This isn't as visual, right? I can go in and choose a certain budget if I want to. Okay, actual close date is this week or this month or next week, whatever it is. And that's going to do the same thing. It's going to filter down my screen for me based on that criteria. I also could look at a tile view, okay, which was really kind of like a roll-up view of the same data from behind. So in this case, we've got 3 open of my open opportunities, 16 open, 36 closed, and 52 in all. So just a different way of looking at information very quickly, as opposed to me jumping over to that dashboard and looking at it from there. Now, we've probably played with this to a certain extent. Advanced Find is no longer there, right? You don't see Advanced Find up in the toolbar anymore. Now we're doing it from columns and filters. So I can go in and adjust this So edit the column, and I can go in and remove things if I want. So email for a potential customer, I can remove that out. You know what, maybe probability isn't too important to us. I apply this and it updates that view for me automatically. If I want to go in and add some columns, I can do the same thing from there. So if I go in and say, let's go in and add budget and bid date for some example, I can now go in and add those to the screen. Okay, I can move these around. So if I want that up there, apply, and now those are on the screen as well. So you can just quickly manipulate this. Before we had to go in advanced find, make those changes in advanced find, then save it back to the view. Now I can do it right from within here. The other thing I can do here is edit the filter itself. So in this case, we're looking at open opportunities within here. I can actually edit this and have search for any criteria, the same as we used advanced find for before. I can go in and say, you know what, let's go in and add a new row. We'll go in and say estimated, let's say revenue. And again, being a dollar field or a currency field, I'll say greater than $50,000. Apply that, and it's now going to apply that to the filter or to the view that we're on. Now, if I want to save this, I just go in here, save as a new view. I can say the name is Open Ops over 50K. Okay, and now that is available to me as one of my views. Now that's what we would classify as a personal view in the system. So those are all available to you from within the edit filters and edit columns area. Now, we talked at the start about lead assignment, so lead routing within the application. This is lead, the assignment rules. This gives you the ability, as a lead comes inbound, I can segment it and route it to the appropriate person. So in this case, if I look at leads in Quebec, for example, I want French leads to come in. Now, all of these I've created these three, but in this case, I've got a French lead that comes in the door. I want it to roll right to a French-speaking rep in this case, right? So think of it that way. Anytime there is something, a certain lead that you need to route, whether it be product-oriented, whether it be language, whether it be territory, whatever that is, I can route it to the appropriate person to handle it. So in this case, I've got French leads rule. I'm going to look at only leads that are coming out of Quebec, right, to see if they want to have, if they're French speaking. I'm going to sellers with matching attributes. So you can have now an attribute against your users in the system. So meaning that I only want to look for the teams or the individuals that speak French, right, that have that attribute language equals French. When that happens, then it's going to distribute this lead to those available people. Okay. Now you can load balance via a couple different ways. Round robin, I'm just going to keep handing those leads, go around in a circle and keep handing them out. Load balancing is looking who has the most leads in the system and then balancing that out throughout the team. Okay. So multiple ways to do it. Okay. And again, very simple. It's almost like a wizard type of experience as I go through this. The one thing you need to do before you set this up is just set up these attributes or these skills or these things against the user. So when I assign this lead, it has somewhere to go. Now, in this case, I've got them all turned off. So you could create as many of these you want and turn them off and on as you like. Okay. In this case, to set it active, you just hit that little button. Then any leads that come in are going to match that criteria. Okay. The D365 in Teams. So this is the ability to reference dynamics from within Teams. So I'm logged into Teams here. This is the experience from a Teams side. Now, this was released a while ago. Again, not sure how many people know it exists. I think people know that Teams is integrated in some way, but this actually allows you to continue to work within the application from within Teams as well as from within Dynamics. So in this case, I've got my Teams open. I've got my dashboard, and you can see down the left-hand side, this is my full Dynamics application available to me from within here. Now, this can be enabled by user, right? So people go in and they log in and they want to access it from Teams. Same idea as they do from a mobile perspective or from an Outlook perspective. They get access to that information. This is the full application here, but I also have the ability to come in and look at things along the lines of when I talk with someone in regards to an opportunity or a contact or a lead from within Teams, you notice how that actual card has come into here as well. So I initiate, in this case, a call with David or someone on my team. The record that I am on when I initiate that actually copies over the customer card, in this case, to them. So then if they want to look at more information, they can open this up within Dynamics and get more detail on it. That's one type of information that they can gather from it. They also have the ability to actually look at records from within Teams too. So this is, we saw the full application that was running a second ago. This is actually a form for, in this case, Tura Inc., okay, an account form. And I can enable as many of these as I want. So if someone is used to working in Teams and comfortable working in Teams, they can continue to do so and reference information that exists within Dynamics. You can have both forms in here as well as views within the application. So if I want to see my active accounts or my open opportunities, that's all available from within Teams as well. Now, something that's quite simple that, again, has been around for a long time, and if you want the truth, I haven't spent a lot of time on it, is the email signature capability. So that's inherently in here. I have the ability to attach my email signature. So those are emails that go outbound. That could be a manual email that I just send from the application. It could be an email that is generated via workflow, looking like it came from me. I can now attach that signature to it and make it look nice as it goes out and personalize it for me. This is under personal settings, okay, down in the bottom left-hand corner. You go in and you can create as many different signatures as you want. So for this case, I've got this set as a default of yes, meaning that every email that goes out from me is going to attach this to it as well. The next piece we'll talk about is from a marketing perspective. Now, marketing is certainly on the forefront of what Microsoft has released in the last few years, right? And it continues to get enhanced and get bigger and better. One of the things that they have been working on for a couple of years is the ability to go in and create a segment and then use natural language to create that segment. So I can go in and say Washington accounts. So a segment in the system just being a group of individuals. So it could be territory, it could be territory and product, it could be a customer type. All of those different attributes that we have sitting on the contact and the account cards can be searched on, right? Can be pulled out, and we can, again, create a list or create a segment from them. So in this case, I could go in and select a field from here, right? What country, what county, all the different fields that are available to me. But let me go in and show you how I can do it from here. So I can go in and say, all contacts from Washington. So instead of me building out this query down here, where I would say state province equals WA, I can actually just type in the natural language for it. And it's going to build that query for me. Now, if it's very complex, it may need some massaging, right, as we go through it. But in this case, all contacts in Washington, I can click down on the estimate size here, see if we get anything back. And we've got 40 contacts, so it actually has created it properly. So essentially, it's creating this for me down below and using natural language. So you can use this multiple different ways. So now we really have 3 or 4 different ways to do a segment in the system, right? I can use this natural language. I can build out a query here where I'm actually writing in state province equals Washington, or I can actually build in the actual statement itself within here and run it from that way. So pretty neat ways. You'll see this come along. They've been working on it the last few years. This gets a little smarter as I continue to use it. But again, just an easy way to get to creating that natural language query. Now, the other thing I want to show you within marketing is the ability to go in and use a little bit of AI, okay, within when I'm building out an email. So I'm walking into a email template. Okay, this is the email template designer. And you can see on the right-hand side, I've got all the different components that I can add to this template. So I've got just a plain email here. I can go in and say, I want to add text to this, and then I can choose where I want to add it. So maybe I want to put it down below here. You'll notice on the right-hand side, it changes, and I get this little kickstart your content creation. This is what Copilot is going to be, okay? And parts of it are here already. So Copilot is the AI component, or the AI, again, Copilot for Dynamics, that you'll see start to pop up in different areas of the application. So in this case, it's going to help us build out some content for this email. So in this, you can read, Copilot helps you discover new ways to express your thoughts so you can move from email concept to completion faster. So if I go get ideas from here, you'll notice that I get some suggested topics. Okay. Do I want to just abandon cart, event invitation, promotion, reactivation, referral, custom? Well, none of these are something that I want to include in my email. So I can click on custom, and I can go in and just put in, thanks for attending our conference. What this is going to do is going to actually go out and look for some verbiage for me to include into my email. So I click on get ideas. It's going to pull back, again, from multiple sources on the web, information that I can submit into this email. Now, it's not just bringing back one, it's bringing back several. So you can see dear first name. And again, this could be classified. It can be dynamic, right? So as I send this to different contacts, it's automatically going to insert the first name, the topic, all of those kinds of things. Now you can see I've got one here. I've got another one here. I've got another one here. Brings up a half a dozen to start with. If I want to get more ideas, I click here and it'll keep churning those out. So I can just grab this, add it to my draft, go in and say I want to add it there, and you can see how it's pasted it over. Now, you are still going to want to massage from a font perspective and things like that. But again, it has come up with this verbiage, 4 paragraphs in a matter of seconds for me, as opposed to me trying to come up with some verbiage for this email. Okay, so that's what you can expect from Copilot. This is from a marketing perspective. You're going to see this in Office. You're going to see it in ERP. You're going to see it in Outlook. So expect to see Copilot coming and coming and coming. They're releasing new functions for it every day. The last area that I'll touch from a Dynamics perspective is the idea of the interactive experience. Now, this has been around for a while as well, but some people may not know it exists there. It's just a different form. You can see I've got a case for interactive experience form. You just enable that within the configuration area. But now I have actually a different look and feel of the application from a case perspective. And this is available in Opportunity and Account and Contact as well. You can see on the right-hand side, I've got this view that allows me to look at recent cases. I've got it to look at knowledge base articles within here. And I can also look at related cases from within the application. So it just shows me a quick and easy view. So the screen is more compacted than it would be if I had all of those spelled out, or all of those areas that were broken out in the screen. The other thing to note about this is using keywords and knowledge base articles. So you can see that in this case, this has been out for a while as well. Based on this case title, it's actually brought me back some knowledge base articles that may be relevant to me. Okay. And then I can do different things with this. I can actually attach it to this current record. Okay. That's where I get some metrics on the knowledge base articles, how effective they are, how much they're being used. If they're not being attached or not being used much, do I need to go in and change those knowledge base articles? I can like this knowledge base article that it's one of the ones we reference a lot. Okay. I can actually pop it out so I look at it on a bigger screen as opposed to looking at it in a small view like this. And then lastly, I can email it right directly to the customer too. All right. And that would get tracked as an email sent out to them. So we would be able to see that interaction back and forth. Now, the basis I talked off the start about case management and swarms and the ability of using teams. If I go in and create a swarm within here, a swarm is that idea that I'm going to bring in somebody else into this case to help me with it. Okay, so can you check to see if everything, if everything was shipped? So in this case, the customer is missing some parts. All right. Has everything been shipped? What skills do you need? So think of this as now I'm going to push this over to shipping, over to finance or someone, and make sure that that pick slip was actually complete before it was sent out. In this case, from a perspective, I'm just going to go in and choose accounting and finance for them to check. I could include other skills within here. But what is going to happen is when I create this swarm, I save and send this, it's actually going to look for all the people that have that skill set and then invite them to a Teams channel. Okay. So you can see now everything that is launching, this swarm has been created and this channel has been set up for everybody to collaborate back and forth on it. So the ability to have Teams integrated into the application, this swarm created with the application, and all this is tracked, right? So somebody can pick this up and run with it and help solve this case on a very timely or quick basis. Now, the one last area I want to touch on is around the ability to go in and create I'm just going to attach my phone here, but to create a dictation within the mobile application. So let me see if I can attach to my screen. And we'll see mobile hopefully pop up on my screen here. Just going to close this and open it one more time and see if we can get it. There we go. So this is the mobile app. Okay, so I have the ability to have all that data that we've been looking at from within mobile. Now, one of the functions of mobile is I can actually go in and look at opportunity, look at leads, look at different areas within the application. But as I mentioned before, when I go in and add a note, you can see that I could type in this note using my keyboard like normal. You also see down in the corner there of my keyboard, the top right-hand corner, I've got the microphone that I normally would have that and when I'm speaking into my phone for other things. In this case, I can go in and start to add in text. Meeting went really well. Next steps will be to set up a demonstration. Steps will be to set up a demonstration. Sorry, sometimes on the webinar, it sometimes doesn't come across instantly. But in this case, you can see now that was able to dictate into the phone. So if you think of something like this, a salesperson could use out in the field, right? They're in having a meeting. They come out to their car. They dictate the meeting notes into CRM through their phone. Instantly, it's there. Gone are the days where I have to go back to my hotel room and open up my laptop and start to begin to work on it. So that's kind of the way that the dictation works. So that is everything we're going to cover today. So thank you for attending the tips and tricks for Dynamics, and have a great Aspire.